Hello and welcome to part 5 of Write With Me, where like I mentioned last time, am going to be doing something a little different. Instead of talking about my writing process, I'm going to make a notebook. So if you've read any of my blog posts, you'll probably know that I write longhand, and actually I have right here the notebook that I wrote my other fantasy book in. I made this one by hand and I learned so much from making this one. And I'm going to use that knowledge to make this one, which is currently just a bunch of pieces of paper folded together right now. So, as perhaps a caution or a disclaimer, this is not a tutorial. I only do what works for me. I learned from other people's channels, things like that. But I'm not a professional bookmaker. So you can use this to help you get started, but this is not going to be something that you should just take and just take my word for it and just do what I'm doing. So do your own research if you want to make a notebook, but I hope this will inspire you and hopefully challenge you to make your own notebook and perhaps write longhand. So without further ado, we'll get started here. So as I already showed you, I have most of my paper already folded and stuff. Some of this is actually from this notebook, which I dissected and took this chunk of paper that I did not end up using from it. And so I got a head start on folding paper. And here's the paper that I folded last night and this morning. And so you will get to see me finish folding the rest of that. So that is step 1, folding all your paper. I'm just using regular printer paper, folding it in half, and putting 5 of them together to make what is called a book, which is just this, a group of folded pieces of paper. You see, I already have 32 books, and I need 35. So I will make 3 more books. 3 times 5. Wait, no, I'm not gonna enter that. I think that's 3. Why am I having so much trouble with math? I usually do things with a calculator. 3 times 5 is 15. So fold 15 pieces of paper, and then we'll get to the next step. I will scoot you down so you can see the process. Alright, so I have 3 more books, as you can see. So that means I have 35 altogether. So how I got that number is I wrote 1 chapter per book. And that turned out really well last time. And because I want around 30 chapters, I would have around 30 books, but I'm going to give myself a little leeway and do 35. So because this paper is older, I'm going to stick it in the front. And then the new books, I'll stick them in the back. There we have that. And now step 2 is going to mark all the holes. So you can see, hopefully, that right here are the little lines where I punched the holes last time when I first made that notebook. And so I'm going to continue that line down the rest of the books to mark the holes, because we're going to sew this book old-fashioned way. Just make sure that's all even there. Close enough. Then I'm going to take a pencil and just see where that line is. Make sure every single book is marked. And then draw a line. Looks like people are coming, so I gotta stop here. Hey guys, I'm sorry I had to leave so abruptly yesterday. So at this time of day, I'm just waiting for people for family time. So my recording time will be done whenever that happens. So yesterday I finished folding all those pieces of paper, and today I'm gonna hole punch them and hopefully start sewing. So what I like to do is do it on the floor, and that's why I'm in a different position today. So preferably you would have a crafting mat, kind of like a quilting mat or something, because I'm going to be using an awl, and I tried to do it on my lap desk once and it just drilled holes through my lap desk. So do it either on a quilting mat or on the floor. Carpet works pretty well for me. So I'll move you so you can see down on the floor. This is where I'm going to be doing it. This stuff is already punctured and stuff because it's from the notebook. So it's just these. With each one, I will flatten it out. Make sure it's nice and lined up. And I'll take my awl. It doesn't take much. Doesn't take much pressure to do it. Just poke through it. Make sure you find all those holes. Some of these pencil marks are a little light. And then I'll put it to the side. And the time lapse will start now. Alright, so all the sewing is done, and here is what the notebook looks like so far. So the sewing is all these parts here, and what I've done after I sewed it is I glued on these scrap pieces of cloth, and in the notebook building world they're called tapes. And so I just put some glue on the binding here and I rubbed the tape on, and then on the sides I did that with all of them. And then for extra support for the spine I put some pieces of toilet paper rolls, just for some cardboard in the middle of those. And then something I haven't done before, I did the little headbands. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they're called, but someone called them headbands and I can't remember what they're actually called. So I'll give you a close-up. So that's what it looks like. The center is just some scrap yarn that I folded over. And it was actually very easy because you just wrap it around, and then if you can see in the back here, I went through between the books, then I wrapped it around, then I went between the books, and so it's nice and secure, and I think it turned out nice because it's purple. And then I actually had a little ribbon, like a nice green shimmery ribbon that I sewed on there with it as a bookmark. And so I think that really fits into the fantasy mode. And so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to do another layer of fabric, just like a rectangle piece of fabric, just like covering this and covering the spine, just to make it more secure. And then after I do that, we will move on to the cover, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to do that next step off camera just because I don't have very much time to film right now. And I don't want to have to go very suddenly like I did. I think it was on the first take, the first clip in this video. I had to like stop really fast, so I don't want to have to do that again. But I want to show you guys what the innards of the book looks like. It's really heavy, and well, actually, it's not that heavy. It's starting to feel real, you know? Like it's heavy, it has some weight to it, you can feel it, the different textures. It's coming together. I'm super excited. So I will see you guys when that's all done, and we will start on the cover. Behold the notebook. This is a finished product. I think it turned out very well. I wish I could do some dramatic reveal, but I just don't have that sort of resources right now. So there's the side and the back there. And this side, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to sew some elastic right here so that I can just put the pen in there without worrying that it's going to fall out. Then here's the front again. Here's the belt buckle I showed you guys. And I ended up, for the closure, that's how you undo it. It's I'm not sure what to call the closure, but it just felt so wrong sewing metal on metal. But I think it blends in, just don't look too closely. Here's the other side of it. And at first I was just gonna glue the strap on, but really it would just not last that long. So I used the curved needle again and just sewed it. It was some of the hardest sewing I've ever done because this is very firmly glued onto the cover, and I had to sew through the faux leather. It was just a mess. And so here's what it's like. That. And I really like how the spine turned out. I think it's quite beautiful, very rustic. And of course, you can see all the misalignments here, and see, it's just not like all lined up properly. That's a mistake on my part, like especially here, like that was messing me up. I think part of the reason was because I did use the foam to create these little bumps there, which are amazing. I think they turned out really well, but they just made everything else harder. For example, here's that troublesome corner. It just like stretched the fabric in a weird way, and I didn't like it. So I like the look of fabric notebooks better, but let me grab my faux leather one over here. It's the first one I made for my notebooks. It's cold, so I'm putting my blanket back on. Some weird weather I've been having. But anywho, I think the leather is a lot cleaner of a finish. It's very smooth, but then again, it's not hardcover like this one. Little dangly there. So there's some different things to consider. I think I like this one better just because it's green. Just because it's green, just because it has this beautiful buckle, and it actually worked. I didn't think it would work, but it did, and I'm really happy. And I looked it up. These are called headbands. The bottom one is called a tailband, and I think it just looks very, very beautiful. And I know I made a lot of mistakes on this one, and I thought, what better way to cover it up than make it look old? So I did lots of weathering, got some paint, made some splotches. I don't think you can see it because this camera's not very good. But I did lots of weathering, or you can see it right here, I think. And then right here, and then along the spine to cover all the paint mishaps. Because I painted these and then I got paint all over the brown part, and I was like, no. This was fun to do because I used what's it called? A stamp set that I got from my aunt. Aunt Amanda, if you're ever watching this, thank you so much for giving that to me. That was such a thoughtful gift. And I got to use it on this to put my initials on there, and that was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I made this. It is not perfect. There are lots of things that when I look at it, like this little thingy right there that's sticking up, it's full of flaws, but then we all are too. And when I think about that, I just think of the sanctification work that Christ does in us to make us the perfect image of himself. And it's just a beautiful thing, even if it's just a notebook that reminds me of it. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I hope it inspires you to try to make some notebooks for yourself. I'm not a professional. You don't need to be a professional. You don't even need to have all these special tools. I don't. I just use what's around the house. And so I will link a really good YouTube channel down below that does a fantastic job telling how to make notebooks like this. He makes medieval style notebooks using medieval techniques, and it's really cool. And so he did some things differently than I did. Like, he doesn't do all the gluing, I don't think, as far as I can remember, on the spine. If you remember, it was like the spine was glued several times. Oh, I should do an open test for you. So when you open it, look at that. It acts like a real book. And then the pages want to flip up. It's so exciting. Oh. So that was so much fun to see. I was just so happy. None of my notebooks ever did that. I think it's all the glue. But it's okay. I don't care what caused it to do that. Oh, some sticking pages here. Oh, behold, notebook. So that was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, go check his channel out. And that's the end of this Write With Me. And I made the decision to not do any more Write With Me's until I have like a writing update to do, because there's just writing left, and I'll check in now and then with a short video, how my writing's going and what I've come across. Who knows, maybe I'll come across something really challenging that I will get to talk about. So just be on the lookout for that. And for now, you can check out my editing series and some other things that I'm going to do. I am thinking about, for the music side of this channel, I'm thinking about showing you just a little glimpse into my practicing routine. So I'm looking forward to sharing all that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.